officials here at the city's Board of Elections tell us they have about 900 election judges. And get this, they're still in need of hundreds more. In fact, another problem that they are expecting in the coming days leading up to the general election is that some of these people may drop out. So in a case like this, having more is important. Now, come November 3rd, 29 voting sites will open around Baltimore City. Each site will need at least 30 election judges. Now, with less than 90 days away, Elections Director Armstead Jones says they're encouraging as many people to sign up as possible.
I would think right now we would still need at least 300 to 400 more just to pad it, to make sure that we have enough judges for both the early voting period and the election day with the total of 29 sites open.
Now, Jones also says there are many judges who've helped for years and are still volunteering despite the pandemic. However, this year he says he's seeing a number of younger adults wanting to help too. As it stands, this year's general election in Maryland will span over an 8-day period for early voting from October 26th to November 3rd, of course, which is the day of the actual general election.
This is what the site of the explosion looked like last week. You can see debris thrown on top of other buildings the size of a crater. As the community continues to heal from this explosion, in the weeks since, there's been few answers to actually what caused the devastation. And now some of those impacted are calling for accountability. Fox 45's Dan Lamparello is live with where the investigation stands tonight. Dan?
Well, Mary, the site of that explosion here on Labyrinth Road remains fenced off tonight. A third row home that actually sat right beside us here was demolished because it was so severely damaged. They took that down today with a number of crews. But just doors away, people are starting to come back home. This home right here is still boarded up, but there are a few people who are coming back to their homes in the coming days. But some of them told us today they still feel uneasy, not knowing what caused this explosion. In 7 days, a lot can change.
1 week ago, it was pure chaos out here. We were running and screaming.
Sights and sounds forever etched into people's minds.
When I looked out, all I saw was smoke, black smoke, bricks, and half the neighborhood had just disappeared.
I ain't forget you from yesterday.
And while a calm has come over this neighborhood in the weeks since, many still find it hard to forget.
It's just been kind of hard to sleep, especially now that we're back home.
Arian Burrows lives just doors down from where the 3 row homes exploded last Monday. And while she was able to move back in this week, she's felt uneasy ever since.
Until we have answers, I think we'll all go through, I guess, this period of uncertainty and just anxiety, and almost like post-traumatic stress disorder.
So we decided to try and get some answers. The Baltimore Fire Department telling Fox 45 News the cause of the explosion remains under investigation and could take some time to complete. And while the fire department is the lead agency involved in that investigation, we did find out they're being helped by the state fire marshal's office and the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which they say is standard in deadly explosions like this. Do you hope that they get some answers for the
I certainly do, yes.
The closest we've come to getting some answers is from BGE, which says its own investigation found none of its equipment was to blame. But the fire department says until its investigation is complete, nothing is being ruled out. In the last bite. Well, as we take another live look out here, you can see the flowers that were from that memorial earlier placed on the fence that is surrounding this area. That investigation, again, this is all under padlock and key to make sure nobody tampers with any of the scene out here. According to the agencies involved, they do believe it could take days or even weeks to come up with a final cause.
Baltimore police tell us they've made some arrests in these cases and are also planning to step up patrols in Southwest Baltimore. But if you look at your screen right now, you'll see a good map that shows just the widespread of violence we've seen in this district over the last several weeks. So in just 3 weeks, we've seen 16 people shot in more than a dozen separate shootings. The youngest victim of those, a 13-year-old. And 2 of the 16 people shot were killed. Now, one woman we spoke to who did not want to share her name or face is concerned for her safety, also lives in Southwest Baltimore. And like other neighbors, she tells us she's noticed the violence.
It's just the wild, wild west right now. These criminals are fearless.
Now, we reached out to the sitting state's attorney and to Baltimore police. BPD says the department is deploying additional resources to that police district. And as of August 8th, online records show there's about a 45% increase in the non-fatal shootings we've seen so far compared to last year.